Over the last week, I met and consulted with all stakeholders to consider the way forward for the delivery of the curriculum in the Christmas term and possibly going forward. We learned and became aware that most students have not been academically engaged in a structured manner from March to now. We've been told of the tremendous loss of income, of families, and of the worry of parents, teachers, and community leaders that this will result in premature school leaving or dropouts, with students not completing their education. We know that learning loss is a real possibility that could cause us to squander significant gains as a country, but more importantly, that could easily result in lifelong and irreversible damage to the opportunities for all our affected children. We know that children are writing regional and other examinations or assessments, and we have a duty to do all we can to ensure their maximum readiness for those exams. We also know that we must keep our teachers, children, and their families safe. How then would we balance the urgent need to have a rapid, sensible, coordinated national approach to delivering education with keeping our children and teachers safe was the burning question that confronted us. For the safe face-to-face reopening of schools, we need to know epidemiological patterns. We need to have masks for students and teachers, to have hand-washing facilities and clean schools. And we need to have the ability to practice social distancing and to benefit from mass public education about safety practices. The truth is, there was little or no decisive and/or coordinated approach to achieving that balance of delivering education and doing so safely. Actions that were needed in the months our schools were closed were not taken in their entirety or at all. This is our reality. We therefore cannot reopen schools on September 7th, 2020, as was previously scheduled. All schools shall remain closed to face-to-face teaching for the month of September, while we continue to review and evaluate the evolution of the disease and our schools' readiness. The government does not believe, however, that the inability to reopen schools physically necessarily means the inability to deliver education otherwise. We are aware that some parents, teachers, and schools have engaged their children academically by various means, and we roundly applaud and are deeply grateful for those efforts. We encourage all to continue to do this where possible from as early as possible. And if you need help doing that, let us know. Going forward, we know that no single approach will provide regular and effective learning opportunities to our children across the regions and across the grades. We will therefore have to use blended, multifaceted learning approaches in the coming months. We will have to tailor our approach based on the epidemiological patterns, physical spacing, internet connectivity, television reception, teacher availability, and I'm really only naming a few of the considerations we'll have to have. To this end, we are working with the Ministry of Health to urgently develop a safety protocol for schools across the country. And we're actively and dedicatedly pursuing getting our schools physically ready. We're developing relevant curriculum content for delivery on the Learning Channel and are working to actually get the channel broadcasting widely in geographical areas where it has stopped broadcasting or has never broadcast before. We're working to deliver education on the internet, and we're developing learning kits and packages with print and other material to develop specific categories, to deliver to specific categories of students. We're also going to be retraining our teachers as far as we can to deliver education differently. Once we begin face-to-face schooling, we may have to adjust our school term, and we may have to have an extended school week, and we may have to do rotations of students and teachers. These are all matters we're still examining, albeit with urgency. We will let you know as we make those important decisions. To be clear, we hope and intend to be ready with some of these initiatives as early as the second week of September, so that most students can thereafter be actively engaged. Circumstances may change depending on the evolution of COVID-19, but our commitment to providing regular and effective learning opportunities continuously from here going forward will not. We intend to use this pandemic period as an opportunity to begin to deliver education differently, more effectively and equitably.